Floss Tube, I'm Pam. Welcome to my channel, and this is my 2021 planning video. I kept it separate from my 2020 recap video just because I thought they'd get a bit long if I tried to combine them together. I have no idea what exactly I'm going to say during this video. I did not plan it, so if it sounds a bit crazy and all over the place, I'm going to apologize right now. Today is Saturday. Nope, it's not Saturday. It feels like a Saturday, but I'm not gonna lie, every day since like December 19th has felt like a Saturday to me. It is Thursday. It's Thursday, December 31st. It's New Year's Eve. I think I speak for most of us when I say I am gonna be glad to have 2020 in my rearview mirror. Not all of it has been a bad year. I mean, to be fair and honest, I feel like my family has weathered 2020 better than some people, and I feel blessed that we have been in a place where we could do that. But I am hopeful that 2021 is going to be moving us in a positive upward trajectory. Yes. So anyway, this video is where I'm going to talk about my 2021 plans. I am going to do that mostly by going through my stitching journal. I've never had a dedicated stitching journal before. I've always sort of combined it with my daily life bullet journal, which looks, this is the one for 2020. I start a new one every year. By the way, if you have seen people who bullet journal before, I am not an artistic, creative bullet journaler. This is literally because I can't find a planner, a pre-made planner that really suits my life. I change how I want my formats to look on a day-to-day basis. But anyway, in here was my 2020 WIP list and my monthly, daily, weekly calendars for everyday living. So this is my life. I wanted to separate that out this year coming up for 2021. So I got, and I want it to be a little bigger. They're like completely, they're different sizes. So this is a Luke term, 1917. If you do not know how to spell that and you are looking to get one for your very own, this is how you spell it. And I get the one that has dotted pages. I don't know, they're super faint, which is the point, versus like lined pages, because it allows me to do different formats and it's better for me. Anyway, besides my Luke term stitching journal, the other thing that I'm using to kind of organize my year stitchy wise is the project trackers from S4 Designs. So this is a project card that I've already filled out for all the WIPs that I'm bringing into 2021 and put them in their project bags. So you put like, you know, your WIP information here and your start date and maybe your end date if you actually finish, and then how many days you stitched, and then you're supposed to mark off the days that you stitched on the project. So I have 2021 here, and on the back there's 2022, and then there's a place for you to write other notes like floss conversions or anything else you want to say about it. So I'm using this in combination with my stitching journal to keep everything organized, so that when I'm making a floss tube in 2021, and I'm like, oh shoot, I can't remember what fabric that is, it's gonna be right in the project bag. I will know. There will be no guessing. That'll be nice. Okay, so I am bringing into, let me talk a little bit about how 2020 went. In 2020, I capped myself at 12 WIPs, which worked out really well for me. But I am changing that for 2021. There are starts that I want to do, and I don't want to not be able to do them because I'm already at 12 WIPs. So I'll show you how that's going to look when I show you my WIP list. I also want to say that all the WIPs that I currently have were started in 2020. I have finished any WIP that I started before 2020. So everything that's carrying over into 2021 was started in 2020. I said in my recap video that I was bringing 10 WIPs in, but that was wrong. I'm bringing in 11, and I'll talk about that when I talk about my Wipgo board. So I'm going to go through my stitching journal. I'm going to talk about how I'm going to use these cards with the stitching journal, and I'm going to talk about my Wipgo board and show you the projects that I'm doing that I've, what's the word I want? Plugged in to my Wipgo board. So if you are down for all that, continue watching. If not, if you're like, I don't really care what Pam is doing in 2021, I'll see when I see her floss tube videos. I totally get it. Sometimes watching other people's plants can make me a little anxious, to be honest. So, okay, here we go. First thing is I have a little key, which will make sense when I show you the next page, but I'm using different highlighters for different starts. This is going to look a little overwhelming. I apologize. This is my 2021 WIP list. So up top here are the WIPs that I am bringing into, that I'm starting the year with. Then, here's what's going to happen. Instead of capping myself at 12 WIPs, I have the WIPs that I'm coming into the year with, plus one down here. I'll get to that in a sec. And then these are all the WIPs that I am allowed to start. I am not going to allow myself to start a WIP that is not in one of these highlighted sections unless by some miracle I get this whole list down to under 12. We'll see. We'll see how that works out. I don't really think that's going to happen. There are 32 spots here that are already called for. So most of the WIPs that are coming into 2021 are on my Wipgo board. So we'll talk about those in a sec. The orange ones are my new year starts. So I have a new year, new start, and that is going to be, what did I do with the chart? Where are you, chart? Haha. Sorry, I've got a bunch of charts over here and they're not organized. It's Forever and Ever, which is #1 from the Songbirds Garden series by Cottage Garden Samplings. So this is going to be my new year, new start. I'm starting it tomorrow. And then I have, shoot, I didn't take this one out of its project bag. This, like the same color, but like the slanty lines, is going to be my temperature stitch along for the year. I am going to say that I started it tomorrow, but it's actually, I already started some of it, like you'll see in a sec. The temperature chart for this year that I'm doing is Stitchin' Mommy's temperature tree. I am hosting a stitch along for anybody who is stitching any temperature chart. And if you want to stitch a temperature chart with me for 2021, I'm using the hashtag Stitch the Temp Sal, and I'll have that in the description box below so you'll know how to spell it. So I already started this. Shoot, come on. Because I wanted to have part of the tree done for the first of the year. So I have part of the tree trunk done and the first branch, the January branch, done. I am doing the tree trunk in Gentle Arts Wood Trail. So I'm actually not going to put the first leaf on tomorrow. My plan is to, every Sunday, is to stitch the week's previous's leaves. So that's going to be happening in 2021. So that's a start that is already, even though it's technically already started, I'm counting that as a 2021 start. So that's right here. All of this yellow are my seasonal starts. So I'm going to have 4 starts for the 4 seasons to be started on the equinoxes and the solstices. I don't know what those are going to be yet. I don't know what any of my other starts are going to be yet. I'll plan those when I get closer to those actual starts. So those are non-negotiable. I'm doing 4 seasonal starts this year. Then these blue I've already forgotten. See, this is why I have a key. The blue, haha, is Stitching Book Club. Stitching Book Club has released the 4 books they're doing for 2021. I will be doing those. So I needed to make sure that I had spots for them. One of them is dashed lines like that because the first book is going to be Sense and Sensibility. Then they're doing Little Women. Then we're doing The Great Gatsby. And the 4th one is The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And that one's going to be very limited. She got permission from the estate, C.S. Lewis's estate, to do 600 charts, and she can't do more than that. Now, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is not my favorite book. I know there are people who love the series. It's not a favorite of mine. So if I don't get one of the 600 charts, I won't be devastated. So three spaces are for sure going to be starts, and one is a maybe. So that's why I didn't fill it in all the way. The green starts are the 5 ornaments I want to do this year. I want to do an ornament for my mother and father-in-law. I want to do an ornament for my sister-in-law, and I want to do an ornament for my 3 kids. Last year, all of my ornaments were counted as 1 whip. This year, they're not. So I have 5 spots for ornaments. And then the pink is for Mania. Last year, I did, Lindy Stitches did a version of Mania that I think she called Stitch Sania, in which every week you had a goal you had to meet on a whip you already had. And then if you met that goal on the weekend, you could do a new start. I'm not doing it. I will have goals that I want to meet during the week leading up to the weekends in May, but I'm going to allow myself a start either way. But here's the thing. Only one of those, there's 5 full weekends in May in 2021. One of them is a for sure start for me. The other 4 are maybes. If I decide to start an ornament in May for one of those starts, then that start will be in the green. It won't be here. If Stitching Book Club decides if one of its books starts in May, then that will be here. I mean, it will be here. It won't be here. So I'm not going to overlap starts for Mania, if that makes sense. So there's a possibility that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of my planned starts for 2021 are sort of maybes or overlaps, which means my list might be shorter than 32. So it's possible I could have other starts happen in here that are not highlighted starts. I don't know. We'll see how it works out. If this is not making any sense to you, that's okay, because I'm not sure it's making sense to me either. I just know that there are things I want to start, and I don't want to be limited by the fact that I already have so many whips. I hope this is making sense. The other thing that I'm capping myself with, these stickers are not faring well on the front of the cover. I don't know, I'm gonna have to take them off. Every time, it's because this cover is flexible, actually, I think is the problem. And every time it flexes, the stickers pop up. Did I talk about the sticker? Sorry, this is the second time I've tried to film this video because I never remember to put my phone on Do Not Disturb, and then my daughter inevitably calls me every time, and then it stops my video. Anyway, these stickers are from that Victorian sticker book that I feel like everybody has gotten it this year and they've showed it. I don't have it with me to show, but I received it for my birthday. And so I put S and J for a stitching journal on here, and they're not sticking. I apologize if I said this at the beginning of the video. I know I said it in one of the 2. So sorry. Anyway, I don't think they're going to last the year. And so there is room for more starts if this list somehow gets to be under 12. I don't think that's going to happen. All right. So the other thing, so while I'm not capping myself, I mean, technically I am capping myself with whips. It's just, it's a larger number this year. And the WIPs are called for. They're not just whatever I want to start, whenever I want to start. I thought I was going to do a stitch from stash for 2021. And I don't have a lot of fabric on hand. I don't have a ton of like fancy floss on hand. So I was really trying to figure out what it is that I tend to spend most of my money on, because I do need to keep myself in some sort of a budget, which I have not done well in 2020. And for me, it's charts and the extra things like project bags or stitchy boxes or things like that I've been sort of like blowing my budget on. And what I have found, especially with charts, is that this is a floss tube thing, right? Like it's totally enabling. We see somebody show something and we're like, oh my God, I have to have it, which is fine for not me. I immediately run out and I get the chart, and then I don't start it, and then I'll have it for a couple months and I'll be like, I'm not super excited about it anymore. So I'm going to put all the charts I want in a holding pattern. So instead of Stitch from Stash in 2021, I am going to be doing a 2021 no new charts. So, or I guess I should say most of 2021 no new charts. So in my Stitchy journal, I have a 2021 no new charts, wish list. Wow, that was getting tricky for me. In which I'm going to list the charts that I see that I have to have. I have a wish list going on 123 Stitch, so I'm going to transfer it over here, and then charts that are not things that you can get on 123 Stitch obviously are going to go here. And then my plan is when I get to like November, like let's say everybody usually has sales for Black Friday or whatever, but I'm thinking maybe from my birthday, November 25th, through the end of the year, any charts that I'm still feeling like, oh my gosh, I have not been able to stop thinking about that chart all year. I definitely am going to want to stitch that in 2022. I'll go ahead and I'll get it. I'm just not going to get it immediately. I got so many charts right after market that like now I'm like, I don't know when I'm fitting these into my life. And I don't know if I want to stitch them anytime soon. And if I'm not saying, in no way, shape, or form am I saying that that's a bad idea to get charts when you want them. You do you. And whatever you decide is, if it's okay for you, it's okay. For me, I need to rein it in a little bit. So I have enough charts right now that I probably have stuff I can stitch for the next few years and not run out. So I'm putting myself on a chart buying holding situation. All right. Then I've got the Wipgo board. This is 2021 will be the first year I am participating in Wipgo, and I will have all the information for Wipgo linked below in the description box. I imagine you can still start it. I'm not entirely sure though, but Jessie Marie Does Stuff, that's the name of her floss tube, has some videos where she's the mastermind behind Wipgo. So I will link her video that talks about Wipgo below, and she's got a Facebook group. I'm in the Facebook group. I'm not really a Facebooker. I'm on Facebook. I don't like to use it. It's not my favorite social media platform. Hold on, I'm running low on caffeine. Okay, what was I talking about? Facebook. So I'm in the group, but I just don't see myself actually doing a whole lot of posting there because I don't love Facebook. I like Instagram a lot better, and even then I'm not the most prolific poster. Okay, so I have 10 projects on my Wipgo board. Here she is. So the whole premise is there's 25 spots. Number 13 is a free space. You could have plugged in a project here. I chose to use it as a free space. Jessie Marie has already called January's numbers. She called number 6, 13, which is the free space, and 18. So when a number gets called, I highlight it, and then when I finish the goal, I put an X, which is why the free space has an X. And then if I finish the goal before it's been called, I'm going to give it like a dotted X, if that makes sense. So here's what I have on my Wipgo board. My plan with Wipgo is to try to get some of these whips that I started in 2020 finished or very close to finished, so that maybe I can start new things. Okay, so the first one, I'm not going to show my actual whips. If you want to see where I am, they're all in the 2020 recap video. But I have a year of Hot Crown Hollow is on my Wipgo board 3 times. And for each of the squares, each time it's called, I'm hoping the goal is to get a block done. I already have the January and February block done. I have half of March and half of June, and some of November and August done. So when they get called, 2 numbers get called a month. My plan with Wipgo, sorry, I'm going to take this back a sec. My plan for Wipgo is they don't have to get finished the month that they're called. And I can work on them whenever I want. They just don't count as a Wipgo finish until both of those things have happened. But anyway, I'm hoping to get 3 blocks done this year. That is my goal. So each of my Wipgo squares for Hot Crown Hollow, the goal is to get a block finished. All right, the next one is, I don't have the chart in front of me. It's in my bin to be shown on my next floss tube, my next regular floss tube. But if you want to see what it looks like, it'll be in the 2020 recap video. I have 1 square for the Personal is Political by Bendy Stitchy, and my goal for that is to get it finished. So I'm hoping for it. I probably have it a third of the way completed. I'm hoping for a finish. It's a small piece. I'm hoping for a finish in 2021 on that. Next up is my New Year, New Start. I have this on there for 3 squares. What I'm hoping, the goal for the squares is a bird and a flower twice. So 2 of the squares is to get a bird and a flower done. And then the 3rd square is to finish the whole piece. That may have been a bit ambitious, because now that I'm looking at it, finishing the rest of the piece might be more stitching than I thought it looked originally. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. At any rate, even just getting a bird and like both birds and flowers done will get me pretty far towards a finish. Then I have Halloween Squirrel by the Blue Flower. And I have right now, I've got the border here done and this vine. So I have it on the Wipgo board twice to get half of it done and then the other half done, which will get me a finish. So hopefully, then we'll save this one for last. Then I've got Berry Bowl Sampler. I'm doing, this half, and I have 3 bowls done. I think these 3 bowls done already. I have this on the Wipgo board 3 times. And each place on the Wipgo board, the goal is to get 3 bowls done, which won't get my half finished, but super close. It will bring me super close to a finish. Then I have Summer by the Cricket Collection on the board twice. And each place it's plugged in, the goal is to get 2 letters done. I think I already have 3 letters done or 2.5 letters done. So getting 4 more letters done this year will get me very close to a finish. These were not the most ambitious goals I could have put. I was trying to be realistic, but having it also be a little bit of a stretch, right? Because I also know I'm going to be doing Stitching Book Club, and I'm going to have my seasonal starts, and I'm going to be stitching 5 ornaments this year. So I was trying to be realistic. This was probably my most unrealistic expectation, I think. I've got Letters from Nora, H on there. I don't actually have as much done on this as I thought I did. I think I've got like her dress and a leg, and my goal is to get this finished. I'm not even sure I like the fabric that I'm doing it on. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. I think that was probably a poor decision on my part. I have Seeking Refuge. This was probably another poor decision. I have Seeking Refuge for the Scarlet House on there as well. I am 3/4 of the way done on this, but what I have left is like 3/4 of that bottom border and like 1/3 of the words left. And I have this on the Wipgo board for a finish. I have it on in one square. All right. Night Walk Down by the Blue Flower. I have page 1, I have pretty much done. So I have this on the board, how many times? I made myself, I don't think I showed this. I have like my Wipgo projects listed with how many squares they're on the board. Where is she? Night Walk Down. I have her on there 3 times. I have her on there to finish page 2, which is like this area right here, to finish page 3, and then to finish the bottom is the other square. So 2 page finishes and then a total project finish. She's on there 3 times. I also have Christmas ornaments in 1 square. So for 3 ornament finishes. I know that I'm doing 5 for the year, but my Wipgo square is to get 3 ornaments done. I don't even know, I've ordered 1 ornament so far, the one for my in-laws. I don't really know what I'm doing for the other 4 yet. So I don't know which ones I'll choose. Like, it's just gonna be 3 ornament finishes to complete that square. And then lastly, this is the whip that I forgot about because it's not my whip. It's my husband's whip. I was attempting to teach him to cross stitch sometime during COVID. It might've been over the summer. It might've been in the spring. I don't remember. It's not my whip. He's not gonna do it, but he still likes the pattern. So I am adopting this whip. I almost didn't even put it on my whip list because I'm a little irritated about taking up space on my whip list with a project that was not mine. But my 20th anniversary is going to be in 2021. I don't think I'm going to get this finished for our anniversary, but I think adopting it as a whip that I will complete for him can be his gift. It is the Celtic Tree of Life by Artisty Cross Stitch. This was my husband's start. I don't even know. I think this is 14 count white Aida from, I don't know, Michael's or Joann's. Yeah, it's not a big start. It's this section, like right here. This is not going to get finished this year. And we'll see if I have to carry it over into 2022, whether I will include it on my whip list. I don't know. But I included it on my Wipgo board for 12 hours of stitching. I feel like 12 hours of stitching will get some significant progress on there. And maybe I will love it. It's not really my style. It's more his style, but whatever. Okay, so that was my Wipgo board. We're coming close to the end here. For the rest of my stitching journal, my plan is when I get a finish, I'm gonna take my project tracker card out of the project bag, and I haven't figured this out yet. If it's easily adhesible, I'm gonna say that 3 times fast, I'm going to try to attach it to the journal as a record. So it'll be like a 2-page spread. My hope, my idea, my plan, we'll see how this plays out, is to have like the project card on one side. Now, I don't know if I'm gonna keep the calendar or if I'm gonna cut it right here, because then it could possibly just be a 1-page spread. I'm thinking if I didn't use this section right here, what I'll do is we'll see what happens. I don't know yet till I have a finish. Parts of the project card will be on here, and then I'm planning on printing out a picture and putting it in here too. So there will be a record of my stitching somewhere, especially for things I give away, that I gift to people, or I don't know, anything can happen to our stitching. There will be a record of it in my stitching journal. Okay. That's it. That's all I have. Those are my plans for 2021. Also, my plans, like in-person stitchy group plans. I am going to be going to my first retreat, fingers crossed, in November. It's going to be the Stitch-In at East Hill Farm in New Hampshire, and that's happening in November. If you want more information on that, Lynette from Homesteading on the Homefront has talked about it in her past 2 videos. I don't know, she didn't talk about it in her planning one, I don't think, but the 2 videos before that, she talked about it. I will link Lynette's FlossTube channel below. And there's a Facebook group specifically for this retreat that I will put below. Mostly I'm thinking it's going to appeal to local New England stitchers, because, and I didn't even realize this until Lynette talked about it recently, you can't, there's no like, it's not close to an airport. So if you're going to, and you may want to, because it'll be fun, but you will have to rent a car, I think, to get from the airport to East Hill Farm. There's not an easy way to get there otherwise. So, but anyway, I will post that stuff below if I remember. I probably won't. Yeah, and then in 2020, I'm hoping to get back together with my in-person stitching groups. I'm hoping to get back to Stitchy Group at the World in Stitches. I'm hoping to get back with the Rhode Island Stitchers. Yeah, I'm hoping. I really miss stitching with people in person. I really do. Okay, if you have any questions about how I am organizing and planning out my year, by all means, ask in the comments below. I will try to answer them. And if it's not something I can easily answer in written format, I will answer it in my next FlossTube video, which I am hoping to do the first, not this weekend coming up, like not the 2nd and the 3rd of January, but the weekend after that, I'm hoping to film my next regular FlossTube. It's been a while since I've done a regular FlossTube. Anyway, that's it for me. I wish you all a happy and healthy 2021. I hope you get a lot of stitching done this year coming up, and that it's a better year than this last one. Mostly that's what I'm hoping for everyone else. Not that 2020 has been terribly, terribly bad. I've been able to find joy, but I'm hoping 2021 is better. But I think that's what we always hope for the next year, right? We always hope that the next year is going to bring us more joy and peace and happiness and all sorts of, that's why we make goals, right? That's why we have New Year's resolutions or goals or intentional words, or it's a nice time of year to do a reset, to kind of like take inventory of our lives and how we want them to be moving forward. And this is not what this video is supposed to be about. I'm going to stop right here. Thank you guys. Stay well, stay safe, happy stitching. Bye everyone. Happy New Year.